Welcome to Beers and Biscuits, a DOGcast for the rest of us. I'm Karen.
And I'm Nicole.
Please grab your favorite beverage, give your dog a biscuit, and enjoy the conversation.
So, Karen, what beverage do you have today?
Well, I am drinking water today. Off to a great start for Beers and Biscuits. I went to my fridge and realized that I was completely out of everything. And I was like, this is a great first impression, but you know what? This is just who I am. What about you?
What are you? We do it.
What are you drinking tonight, Nicole?
Well, I was contemplating whether or not I should double fist because I really wanted to have the beer for the beer and biscuit. But I also desperately needed like a double shot, extra super large coffee. So
Solid.
We'll see how this goes. But I have got Primavera Lager, and that's from West Place Animal Sanctuary. That's a nonprofit out of Rhode Island, and they are dedicated to farm animals, horses, and other rescue and rehab for injured wildlife. And that's right down in Rhode Island.
Ooh, we love a dual purpose beverages. Good for us and good for the animals. So tonight, I think we decided we were going to spend this very first pilot episode of Beers and Biscuits helping you guys get to know us a little bit better. Nicole and I each took some time to prepare 5 questions for each other, and I'm so excited for this. So if you want to start, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, and then I'll jump in.
All right. So I'm Nicole, and I'm a newly retired multi-certified and accredited dog trainer and behavior professional with over 20-ish years of experience. I'm also the co-owner of a pet care and dog walking company in Massachusetts, and I am kind of headed into a new chapter. I wouldn't quite say retirement fully, but maybe pre-retirement. And I've got a couple of projects in the works that I'm going to try to pursue. Obviously, this podcast being one of them. But so no more training for me per se, but still heavily involved in the dog world.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to see what these next chapters for you bring, because I know that you are going to go fully in and you're going to just absolutely smash it.
So how about you, Karen? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Karen. I am not the type of Karen that asks for a manager, though. I've never done that in my life. But I am a multi-certified professional dog trainer. I specialize in reactive and aggressive dogs. I am the owner of a small dog training facility in northern New Hampshire, and I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So I am not quite ready for retirement yet, but I am looking to turn a page, we'll say.
Nice. All right, Karen. So I've got 5 questions for you. And the last one is kind of a multi-part thing, but that's okay. Karen, what is your favorite non-dog activity?
Ooh, I would have to say my favorite non-dog activity is probably baking. I love creating, and I also just love seeing people enjoy it, and there's not really a whole heck of a lot of stress to it. It's you're making a cake, and who doesn't love a cake?
Right. I know I've seen on your stories a couple of times you baking things, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I am so hungry right now for that.
Well, anytime you come right on up and we'll have a cake together.
All right, question 2. Name one movie if you were scrolling through the channels, you'd have to stop and watch the rest of it.
Oh, this is an easy one. And if my dad is listening, he already knows the answer. It's Shawshank Redemption. I simply cannot turn away from that movie. And I feel for Neil sometimes because as much as he loves it, he's like, can we just watch something else?
I feel like that's definitely a good one. There's so much to it. There's so
Right?
many little things that you can pull out of it. Such a good movie. All right, we're getting a little harder here. You
Oh,
ready?
goodness. Yes, I think so.
All right, give me your top 3 bucket list items.
Like items as far as like purchases or items as far as like things to do or like a combo?
How about, combo.
So I definitely want to like go to Australia, New Zealand. I want to see the world. That's for sure. Probably number one. I want to travel. I want to experience everything. Number 2, oh gosh, this is a really good one because as far as things go, I wouldn't say no to just like unlimited land to have my dogs on. But I don't think that's necessarily a bucket item. I want to, this is a really good one. I've never really been asked bucket list items before. Yeah, definitely travel is a big one for me. I guess probably in kind of that realm, see the Northern Lights, probably hopefully like in Alaska. That would be really cool to go see. And then as far as the third one, a very simple girl. Just nope, I've got it. And I don't think I will ever actually be able to do this one, but being a proud New England girl. At one point in my life, I declared that I will visit every Dunkin' Donuts. So whether that happens or not, that would be pretty cool.
Now, is that just in New England or is that
no. All over. I'm going to hit every single one.
Nice. All right. If you couldn't be a dog trainer, what would you want to be and why?
I've thought about this a lot with the whole turning of the chapter thing. Like, what else would I do? And part of me would be like, oh, well, I love baking so much. So that would make sense to have like a bake shop. And I think I would like that, to have a place, maybe mix it with like a bookstore or something, just where people can go and hang out and eat macaroons and drink coffee.
Nice. That's so cute. I would come visit.
Anytime.
All right. So the next or your last question is we're going to do like a little rapid fire.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm going to give you 2 choices and you got to pick from them.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Museum of Science or Museum of Art?
Science.
Gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids?
Sour Patch Kids.
I think I know this next one, but fries or tater tots?
Oh, tater tots. That was way too hard.
All right. Are you socks or no socks?
Oh, well, socks.
Gross. All right. And your last question. In tic-tac-toe, are you more likely to be an X or an O?
Ooh, X all the time. Those were good. Those were so good. Now I'm like, my questions aren't as fun.
No. Lay it on me, Karen. What do you got?
My first question kind of ties this all together, and it's not necessarily, well, I want your answer to be about you. So why a podcast and why now?
Oh boy. Okay. I mean, I kind of feel like I have a lot of things to say, and I haven't really found the vehicle in which to say them. I guess. I write a lot of things, very heartfelt, very personal things on Instagram, but I still feel like there's more of me that I would like to put out there in the world. And this is something that's completely different, completely out of my wheelhouse, and, very challenging. So what better way to put yourself out there than in a pretty challenging way, I guess. And why now? Well, I mean, I guess I would say because I met Karen and we really hit it off. But truly, I think that does play a big part of it, is that I don't know if it's something that I would feel comfortable enough in my skin to do on my own. So I think the now part is because I have a person to do it with.
Oh, get me all teary-eyed over here. That was very sweet. But I agree. I think you have so much to put out because I've learned so much from you. So I'm so happy we're doing this together.
Thank you. Ditto.
So, now, it's a twist on a stereotypical question you ask people to get to know. So you're on a deserted island, of course. You've somehow gotten there.
Oh, so like where I would want to be. Gotcha.
Well, I
Tracking.
mean, you can see, right? Exactly. I mean, which deserted island would you like to go to? But you can only bring one type of food and one genre of books with you. What would they be?
Oh, okay. One type of food.
Yeah, like Italian, Mexican, Thai.
Oh, definitely Mexican.
Yeah.
Definitely Mexican. And type of book would have to be true crime all the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid choice. All right. This next one, you only go as deep as you want to.
Okay.
Have you had the pleasure of meeting your soul dog? And if so, who was it?
Oh, goodness. Wow, Karen, right out of the gate, hitting us with the big ones. Yeah, I mean, so Zed was definitely my soul dog. He was the me of me, I guess. I don't know how else to say that. Without him, I wouldn't be me, I guess. Yeah. Such a forgiving dog. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I mean, I screwed up so many times. I did so many things wrong, but he was there, always there. I never laughed so hard in my life than just him doing silly things and funny things and just being like the biggest, lovable, fluffiest clown on the planet. For sure, Zed. And then, obviously Charlie, kind of the total opposite end of the spectrum, just the most quiet, loving, gentle soul of a dog. And I think they both taught me different things. I feel like Zed really taught me to be introspective a little bit and to question myself. And Charlie taught me how to be really quiet and listen.
I love that.
So.
That's really beautiful, actually. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. So kind of then to kind of piggyback off what you were saying about Zed and how we all make mistakes, what is one, it doesn't necessarily have to be dog training mistake, but one kind of mistake with dogs you have made in your career that was like had the biggest effect on your growth? So not like in a negative way, but it just was like, oh, I can do this better next time.
Oh, this is a really hard question. I would say the biggest fault I had going into training was thinking that I knew it all, right? Because I mean, that's not really who I am. I'm not a, I know it all kind of person, but still in a very ego-centric way, I'm a person, so therefore I know. I think learning how wrong I was about that just because I'm a person, because I'm human, I'm not special. I'm not the only part of that relationship that's capable of thought and feeling. It's really kind of disquieting, really, when you think about it, when you really just kind of let that fall aside. Everybody says it's just a dog. I am just a person, and to learn to approach it in an equal and more humble way. I think that was a very hard lesson for sure. And I think I did that wrong a lot in the beginning.
I think we kind of all do that wrong. What made you want to become a dog trainer?
Oh boy. I mean, honestly, I never really thought about dog training as like a career or a profession or anything like that until I was in the military. And I just happened to, I say happened, but basically I came up for orders and I made it very clear that I wanted the East Coast. I had been overseas for 3 years and I had not been home. Basically I just said, I want something on the East Coast. Give me something on the East Coast, whatever it is. So I could be closer to family. And they came back and they said, oh, well, we have orders to Bangor, but you got to go to dog school first. And I was like, okay, Bangor, Maine. Sure. I can go to Bangor, Maine. Right. Little did I know, Bangor, Maine had closed down many years before. And so what I got was actually Bangor, Washington.
Definitely the East Coast.
Yeah, definitely the East Coast. But I got dog school and I went into it thinking, it's kind of a means to an end, basically, something different to try and do. and it was going to, keep me stateside basically. But yeah, I mean, I fell in love with it. Like day one, I was like, okay, I got it. Like this is me. I got it. And yeah, I mean, I rocked it. I mean, I sometimes don't mind tooting my own horn,
Oh,
but
toot toot, honey,
um
toot toot.
I felt at home with it. So yeah, so I wouldn't say I necessarily chose this. I feel like it chose me, and I'm thankful that I went along for the ride.
And I think that's kind of like a typical experience, at least from what not the military. That's not the typical side. I meant it's typical that it kind of seems to fall into place, because I feel the same way. Even though I was becoming a trainer for my dog, it was then
Right.
people were seeing the results of what I was able to do, and they were like, "Oh, can you help me?" So you kind of just, I think, in a lot of ways, this profession finds the people that are supposed to be in it.
I think you're right. Like, I think it's a natural segue sometimes for people, especially people that are, super empathetic, and people that do have a love for animals, and, a love for wanting to help people. I think marrying those two together, and you kind of get a dog trainer.
Yes, people, you have to like other humans to do this job. It is not just all puppies.
Why did you choose to be a dog trainer?
Ooh. I chose to become a dog trainer because I couldn't find what I was looking for my dog CJ. When I reached out to company after company, the methods or styles of training they were offering me, I was not comfortable doing.
Right.
And at the time too, my husband was in the military and we were moving a lot. So having some form of consistency. And also at the time, Zoom wasn't a thing and there wasn't virtual sessions happening. So I
Right.
had to become the trainer I wanted. And I think that made my skills a little bit better, because if I wanted results for my dog, I was the one responsible for helping him get there.
Right.
So then my last question for you then is, what is something you wish your clients knew about you, but don't necessarily?
Oh, I kind of wish my clients knew how much I think about things, like to a fault, up at night, thinking about ways to help them more. Am I doing it right? Could I do it better? Did I give them everything that they needed? I think a lot of times maybe clients can think, out of sight, out of mind, but I don't feel that way about them at all.
Oh, I completely agree. The amount of times I've woken up at like 1 a.m. and like been like, oh my goodness, we've got to do this. Or, oh my gosh, we got to do. So you right on.
Right.
That's right on.
Yeah, it's definitely different than a lot of other professions, for sure.
We deeply, deeply care about these dogs. And sometimes there's no closure for us on these dogs. People will,
Right.
Book their 6 sessions and then we may never hear from them again. So it's tough.
Right. It's almost like the empathy curse.
Oh, yes. Oh, I did have another one. As far as what would be your favorite and least favorite aspects of the dog world, not just
Well,
dog training, dog world.
Karen with the big
I
guns and
know, right?
questions.
It's coming in hot.
The dog world. So we're talking like just in general.
Just
Anything
in
about dogs.
general.
I guess my least favorite thing would be how readily commoditized dogs and animals are. I once had a client that called and said, "Hey, I need a trainer. I just went to the mall to get a pair of jeans and came home with a puppy."
Doesn't that happen all the time?
Yeah. So, yeah, so I mean, I think that's my least favorite aspect of the way that we view animals in general, is that we're so quick to put a commercial value on them.
Oh,
I guess that would
definitely.
be my least.
Yeah.
My most favorite thing is that if we really take a step back and if we really drop the ego and we really approach animals with some humility, they are the most forgiving, most loving.
My dad always says they're the only friends we've made on this planet. I think that kind of says it perfectly, in my opinion.
Right. Go, Dad. Yeah. Dogs especially they really are unique in that way, and I think we just have to let all of the other stuff go so that we can really embrace that. And I feel like people that have done that, they're so much better for it. And I feel like watching somebody else do that, like watching somebody from a trainer's perspective, watching a client really just lean into it and just let everything kind of go and just go with it and embrace everything that dog has to offer them. I think that's the best thing for me.
And it's really beautiful to see that when it just clicks with the owner and all of a sudden the bond just is kind of miraculously there in a way. It's just really special to see.
Good question.
Yeah.
Very good question. I do have one more question though for you, Karen.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it back around. So I'm going to give you the question. So why a podcast? Why now?
Well, I cannot agree more with you that I have found my podcast person in Nicole. And I think as far as the now part of it goes, that, like I said, I found you, and I think we work so well together. I think we are just enough opposite in the way our brains work that this is going to be very successful. But why a podcast? Because like you said, I think I have so much to say and so much to offer. And social media, as much as it can be a blessing and a curse, it's fleeting and limited. And hopefully this podcast will reach more people, or at least reach who needs it. And I'm just really excited about potentially helping more owners, other trainers, people just looking to listen to something.
So what do you see? What do you envision? Like, what's your vision for the podcast?
My vision would definitely just be having a conversation and not being hoity-toity, lost in the lingo, and really making it a DOGcast for the rest of us, something that, whether this is your first dog or your 10th dog, you can understand the information that we're sharing and we're talking about. And we do it in a fun way with a fun beverage, and you might get a laugh or two out of it. We don't take ourselves so seriously, but we can also find the fun and the laughs in it.
The local pub trivia night.
Yeah.
Where you're having fun with your friends and you're drinking and you're laughing, and then, maybe a little bit of information gets into your brain somehow.
Exactly.
And that sticks with you. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be what I would see.
What's your vision for this?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty much the same. I mean, I don't want to talk at people. I don't want to come up with like a list of training topics and just talk about, a training topic and talk at people. I want this to be a fun, casual place that is really more for owners and clients, and not necessarily a trainer that's going to tune in to listen to us talk about a specific topic. I really would like, we've talked about it before, about giving clients and giving owners more of a space to be represented and to have, be a little bit more inclusive and accessible to every dog owner, guardian, lover. Because not, we can sit down, there's hundreds of dog training podcasts. Some of them are really fun, and some of them, if I wasn't in this profession, I probably, it would be hard for me to get something out of it, I think. And so I hope that we can provide a lot of information in a very fun and casual way to people.
And I love that. And I hope the listeners will enjoy that and love it just as much as I do, because at least for me, that's how I learn, in a more fun way, in a light way, not sitting down reading definitions and memorizing things. And that's not how our dogs learn either. So I'm really excited about the idea of talking to clients, because although I don't watch a lot of podcasts, I just don't feel like clients have a platform anyway, other than like a Google review.
Maybe it is, we do have a trainer and their client on.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
If I'm like, say, I'm going to have an episode about reactivity, maybe I'm going to call Karen and say, hey, Karen, I know you work with reactivity. Is there a dog that you're, super proud of? And would that owner also want to come on and talk about their experiences?
Yeah.
That gives that platform to the owners as well. So it's not just you talking about, oh yeah, I did this, this, and this, and it worked, and yay. It's also the client being like, yeah, we worked through this, and these are the results, and this is how it's helped. Kind of seeing that more from their perspective, but using the trainer as the
guide,
the guide, or the foot in the door, I guess.
Yeah.
To that.
No, I love that. I love the idea of bringing on like a different trainer and their client.
So we've got some topics that we're working on. Some what I think are going to be pretty cool and fun segments. Hopefully everybody enjoys this as much as we enjoy doing it and putting it together.
And I also, if I remember how to speak, I also think we should just remind people, if there's anything you want us to talk about, we're always open to suggestions and willing to explore things. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Karen.
And thank you, Nicole. This was so much fun. I hope all of our listeners enjoyed this. And thank you so much for joining us on Beers and Biscuits. We cannot wait to have you enjoy another episode with us. But in the meantime, please don't forget to give your dog a biscuit from us.